Dude, do you want to stay there on that one? Yeah. Okay.
Tonight from Resolute Athletic Complex in Columbus, Ohio, it is the third set of games in the Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. Alongside Jonathan Schroeder, this is Todd Bell. Happy to be with you for our first game of the night, which will pit the Stanley Steamers, who come in with a record of 0-2, taking on Overpower, who is 1-1. So we've got two games for you here tonight. Coming up after this one, it'll be Resolute and Ohio Horde. And Jonathan, we had two very competitive games last night, a 1-goal game and a 3-goal game that was much closer than that. And we have really enjoyed the competitive spirit that we've had in the first couple of games of this series.
Absolutely. It's been super fun to see these teams come out here and just a new group of guys get a really good rhythm really quickly and play some really high-quality lacrosse, even though we only got 3 weeks of the summer to make it happen.
All right, our goalies tonight, Andrew Laxton will be to our left for Overpower, Josh Wade to our right as we get set to go here this evening. Overpower fell in their contest last night at a tight one. Stanley Steamers, a really competitive first game last night, a 10-9 loss. And it's going to be Noah Sitek to come away with the first face-off win of the night here for the Steamers in the yellow uniforms.
The Steamers are the upset team now. They're 0-2, which means they can't make the championship, but they can certainly misplace and prevent the Overpower from getting to that game.
Good early save by Andrew Laxton. The outlet here from Dominic Alexander down to Preston Hawkins went over his head. And now we'll transition back the other way. We saw certainly the physicality in both games picked up last night after last week the two teams, or all four of the teams, more just trying to kind of get settled in. Last night we saw the competitive edge come out.
Yeah, I think the big point to note there was Overpower versus Horde was some of the most physicality we've seen in the series so far. And I think Overpower didn't do as good a job as handling it, and the score reflected that.
A couple of early shots here by the Steamers. Now a battle for a ground ball in the Steamers offensive end, but Mikey Clark almost had it picked up. Now Xander Johnson will battle for it for the Steamers, and he'll come away with it and get it into the offensive end. 4 10-minute running clock quarters as that shot by Xander Johnson goes in low on the left-hand side for Andrew Laxton, and the first goal of the game will go for the Steamers.
A guy that open cutting down the middle is basically always going to be found in the world of box lacrosse. So beautiful pass, great finish for Xander. Textbook stuff. Really hoping to see today a more put together game from both of these teams. I think yesterday both of them struggled with ball movement, especially offensive settled possession. Overpower started out super strong as a team when it came to this, but fundamentally in that second game that they played yesterday, they really collapsed. So I'm hoping that they can improve, they can change the narrative of their team and bring it back to what they were in that first game.
Xander Johnson, first goal of this week, did not have one in last night's game. Still this battle for a ground ball will come back out towards midfield. Now to work its way back into the defensive zone here for Overpower, and they'll finally come out of there with it, and Johnny Cool will race it up into the offensive end here for Overpower, who last night had Keaton Trout and Preston Hawkins each score a pair of goals in their game. Great feed out in front and a score. Wonderful feed. Oh, did they wave it off?
Looks like he was in the crease.
How about that?
Back.
Boy, Keaton Trout made a great pass to Will Musgrove, who finished that but had a toe in the crease, and so wave off the goal. It'll remain 1-0 in favor of the Steamers.
It'll be interesting to see how this game starts. Yesterday was much slower than we'd seen. Teams getting a few goals and then a lot of offensive stagnation. So it's really been up and down for these teams so far in this series. It'll be fun to see what it looks like today.
Down to 7 minutes to play here in the first quarter. 1-0, Steamers on top. Now from out on top, a long-range shot by Austin Popovich. Has not played in the first 2 games for Overpower, and he gets them on the board tonight.
Maybe they're wondering at this point in time, hey, where was he? We need some of that range. Stepping from way outside to put a beautifully placed shot past Wade. So fantastic work from him, and I'm sure they're saying, hey, welcome to the game.
So 1-1 now as we're down to 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Last night, both of our games had 4-0 scores at the end of the first quarter. Both teams that had 4 ended up winning, but both had to hang on. And now we've got an even start to our game here tonight. Finally, ground ball picked up by Jackson Carawan. He'll cross over, bounces off a defender, never looked at the goal, fires it out on top, and an easy save for Laxton on the shot by Dylan Camella. Karam's out of bounds. It'll remain Steamers' possession.
Carawan, the leading goal scorer for the Steamers. Again, a fast player. Also a player who apparently has more than one helmet. I've seen him in a couple. So it's been hard to kind of put a face to a name when they don't moving so quick like that. But anyways, we'll put him on the scoring watch for the Steamers team.
Now Xander Johnson will fire again. Laxton makes another solid save. Dominic Alexander will grab that rebound. And the biggest man on the field will work the ball up the field, but a throwaway. It caroms right back to Dominique, but then he misfires on the ground ball, and it'll be gathered up here by Bennett Trout for the Steamers. So they have taken advantage of having a handful of more possessions here in this first quarter that has 5:18 left.
Yeah, again, something not traditional for this overpowered team. Not a lot of settled possessions. They're going to need to turn that around if they want to get a win here.
Pass will work its way down to the corner, but caroms right to Matthew DeSeo. Now a little stutter step by Trout on the left side. Looking to work it out in front. Actually goes to the far side. Blake Carawan got that shot off just in time. And it'll end up being a shot clock violation. It'll head over to Overpower. 4:47 to play here in this first quarter. Nearly a giveaway there, but Keaton Trout was there to pick it up.
Yeah, if I'm a transition player, I'm not looking to give the ball up that early. Players can sense that you don't want to carry the ball and can take advantage of that, like what almost happened there for Overpower.
Down in front, and another crease violation. And on that attempted shot by Jess Lipp, who had a goal last night. Still remain all tied at 1. Now feed out on top. This will work its way to Minetti. Caden, he'll turn and fire, and another solid save by Laxton. He's allowed the goal, but he's looked very good, very sharp, seeing it very well here in the opening frame.
Yeah, that vision's going to be important as you play. High volume shooting is the name of the game in box lacrosse, and so the more that your goalie can save, the better it's going to be.
Snyder will give it up now to Tate Jones. Jones will get by his defender. He'll get in front, fires it right off of Josh Wade, and it'll head over now to the Stanley Steamers. 3:48 left here in the opening quarter.
I think Overpower here has 3 of their 4 offensive possessions, and they've ended up in the crease.
Yep.
they're going to need to clean that up. I mean, finishing around the goal is obviously a good thing, but when you're stepping inside that crease, it's just a change of possession every time.
Jackson Carawan again works his way by a defender, gives it up to Johnson, gets it back, time and space, misfires, and that'll be grabbed out of the air by Evan Burgess. He'll fire it ahead, nice pass, but Hawkins couldn't grab it. Now we'll try and win the ground ball back behind the cage. 3:18 left here in the opening quarter. Still free along the board. Hawkins tries to sweep it out, then just sweeps it towards the goal as he gets belted from behind. And the Steamers now will have the possession.
Despite how similar they look, the hockey shot was a bit ambitious there.
Caden Minetti, he'll find a little room, fires that off the leg of Laxton, and a whistle and what? Looks like we're gonna have our first penalty of the game. So 2 minutes is going to go against Overpower, and we're going to get our first man up. We had many more man up opportunities in last night's doubleheader, and our first one here of the evening.
I think they've been more prone to call off-ball engagements. After that first week, you could see a lot of players off-ball doing some holding, doing some illegal checks, not afraid to throw some elbows as well, which can be called. So I think refs kind of doubling down on keeping the game a little bit more mild than what was initially reffed.
Now the first shot of this man up, taken by Caden Minetti, saved by Laxton. Now Overpower, 30-second shot clock. We'll have a chance to run some of the time. Alexander has a pop out of his cross, but gathers it back up. Now they'll feed it out in front. That shot by Keaton Trout, saved by Josh Wade, got hung up in the equipment. It'll be Steamers' ball with 1:50 left. And now they've got another opportunity here on the man-up advantage.
Trout, I think, shot that a little too early. Needed to put some more mustard on it if he wanted to get by the keeper. But a good vision and a good offensive look for Overpower, which has struggled to make it happen so far. See now Steamers calling for a wheel, which just means that they'll have those 5 guys, they'll rotate, they'll try and feed as they come across. Just a way to confuse the defense.
Good movement here. That shot in front by Carawan bounced wide, but in a man-up situation, that's been the best we've seen anybody look here in the first 3 weeks.
Absolutely. That was handled fantastically. Good patience, waited for that inside guy to be open and fed him, and some amazing stick skills to even be able to catch that before he gets shoved to the ground.
Remember, there are no practices involved here.
Yes.
They're just kind of doing this on the fly.
And many of these players are field lacrosse players, so the closeness and physicality is something they don't always see.
Driving in on the dodge, Will Musgrove got stoned again by Wade. Overpowered, gets the rebound. Still an opportunity, good feed in front, and another terrific save by Wade on the attempt by Jess Lipp. Now transition opportunity for Noah Gellert. Doesn't have the numbers, so he'll slow it up.
Yeah, Wade there now standing on his head for a lot of these engagements. I think when you talk about getting momentum, it's obviously scoring goals that's going to be the biggest part of that. So when you have a keeper who's able to shut it down, it can be very frustrating for a team.
Under a half minute to go, and they just get the release of the penalty on that shot. Another save by Laxton. Final 17 seconds of the first quarter. Overpower will have a chance at the last shot of this first quarter.
Yeah, they were calling for a hold here, so settle down, get those offensive guys. We'll see what comes of it.
That shot never got on cage. 4 seconds left. Battle for it. Still free. Musgrove had it pop out of his stick. And that'll end our first quarter of play. Johnson and Popovich for their respective teams with the tallies here in the first quarter. 1-1 after one. Back with the second quarter after this. 1-1 at the end of one quarter of action between Overpower and the Stanley Steamers. Todd Bell with you. Jonathan Schroeder, what did you see in that first quarter that you had your takeaways from?
I think off air for a moment, we were talking about how these goalies have made some good saves so far, but I'd also point out to the fact that these offensive players haven't challenged them that much. The placement right now has been largely in the chest and shin protection areas, and that's something that's going to be an easy save for a lot of keepers. I was actually talking to a couple players last night. They were talking about how some of these keepers are being really patient, not moving, and that's making it difficult for them to throw fakes. So I think a lot more ball movement is going to encourage those keepers to shift and get better looks for these offensive players.
That shot never got on goal by Popovich. Now he tries to dive, another crease violation, and it'll head over to the Steamers. I've been impressed, thoroughly impressed in the first two games, now a third one here tonight, of how well these keepers have played. I think on the surface you look and you see how big the equipment is and how small the goal is. It's still incredibly hard because these shooters are so talented.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, the trade-off of having such
Oh, is that one?
We jinxed it.
Of course, is Blake Carawan's going to get that to go in. Kind of shot it low, but that again, that shows you that the equipment's big but kind of bulky. Laxinen got shifted over, but there was a small crease and it found its way in.
Yeah, I think the trade-off for having the big pads and the small goals, the fact that the range these players are able to shoot at is significantly closer, and the speed still matches anything you'd see in the field. But yeah, a lot of times you can get those trickles off the shin guards like that. So even with good positioning, Laxinen there, not able to make the save. Carawan, again, one of the best offensive players for the Steamers. He's going to score when he has the chance.
So a 2-1 advantage now for the Stanley Steamers after we had our 1-1 conclusion to the first quarter. Now Carawan tries for a second one. That time shut down by Laxinen. And the rebound, at least for the moment, was grabbed by Johnny Cool, and then finally in the circle, Bennett Trout will come out of there with it now for Overpower, and they'll have their first offensive possession of the second quarter.
Looks like he tried to fire it down to the corner to avoid the transition. Again, there's a 10-second clock that's counting down, but Overpower not able to get it across before that happens.
So between the crease violations and little mistakes like that, right now Overpower pretty fortunate to only be down by a goal.
Absolutely. I think we don't have our stats and analysts with us right now, but they'd be showing just how often Overpower has been turning over the ball and how little possession time they have as well.
So Overpower will have it here, trailing by a score of 2-1. Alexander will feed it to Musgrove. Great little move. Oh, and a great fake and scores. One of the prettiest goals we've had in the first 3 sets of games. Will Musgrove will tie the game.
Musgrove did a great job there of realizing that even though he had space to shoot, there were still people in front of him. So a good fake is going to cause that defender to hesitate. And again, box across, doesn't have to switch hands, keeps it to his right, fakes out the goalie as well. That was superb.
So Musgrove will tally his first goal of the night. And for the second time, we are tied, this time at 2. Lengthy battle, ground ball one, Noah Gellert. Now he will take it all the way to the crease, and he scores! Noah Gellert will put the Steamers back on top.
Steamers so far, anytime a goal is scored, they're able to retaliate right back. I think if they're able to do that for the rest of the game, I mean, it's going to be theirs.
So 3 minutes deep into the second quarter, Noah Gellert will put the Steamers back on top. And now 5 goals, 5 different goal scores here in the early stages of this one, a theme that we have now seen in the first 3 sets of games. Jackson Carawan will come away with the ground ball, and the Steamers again, another offensive possession. They've dominated the possession time here in the second quarter.
Looking at this right side, I'm seeing Carawan and Carawan. Let's see if they have a brother-to-brother connection, much like the Trouts do. Both fun to see, I bet. Fun to play with your siblings as well.
Well, Jackson hung on to it for a long time, finally found a crease. Great save, quick outlet, Jake Snyder. He lost it on the shot, and then Carawan is there to pick it up. Boy, what a rare miscue on a wide open shot attempt.
Yeah, I know if I'm going in a one-on-one with the keeper and I drop the ball like that, I'm certainly going to want to have it back.
Van Voorhis Down below GLE, works it out on top. That shot, another save. Neil Ritchie with the shot. and Laxton able to corral it. 5:35 left first half, 3-2. Stanley Steamers with a lead.
I'm not sure about you, but it certainly feels like this first half is going by quickly.
The first quarter flew, and they're all the same length,
yeah.
but they have a different pace to them for sure. Behind the back shot, no good there. Dump and attempt, no good by Haney. Still a scramble for it down in the corner. And Overpower will have it. Alexander happened to be in the right spot, preventing an over and back. Now a shot from the wing is no good by Landon Trout. They reset the shot clock. Overpower, let's see if they settle things down here. Chaotic pace.
Yeah, definitely be the right call.
Alexander found a little room. Another terrific save made by Josh Wade. Now a double team in the defensive end. Great play. Trout gets in front. Couple of fakes. Low shot is saved. Gathered off the bench by LaPerna. And Overpower now has kind of taken over here in the middle stages of the second quarter with a possession time. Terrific feed out in front. Couple of head fakes. They can't finish it. That was Lip. Now Overpower will still have it down in the corner. 4:22 to play in the second. Alexander on the far side of the field. Dominic now leans in, works over the defender, feeds again out in front, and a behind the back shot by Lip goes. Wow!
Really appreciate the patience from Alexander there. He knocks down his defender, and instead of dodging, he says, hey, what can I draw off ball? Whose attention can I grab so that I can make a great feed? And Lip there able to collect as a result of some patient play. Definitely the offense that we haven't seen in these last couple of games from any team, really. Settled 5-on-5 is where people need to start making more goals.
And a couple of really good opportunities for Overpower, and continuing to maintain the possession gave them the chance. Now in a substitution, a wide open opportunity again by Musgrove, and he hits the brick wall of Josh Wade. 3:30 left first half, game tied at 3, and that pass will go out of bounds. It'll slow things down momentarily as they have to gather a new ball or retrieve that one. Looks like they'll just pick that one up over off the sidelines.
Tough times here at Resolute if they've only got one ball for this game.
Well, this is it. It for the night. Goes into the stands, you got to throw it back.
Yeah.
Clock winding close to 3 minutes to go. And I guess they're going to say that that pass had been deflected by Overpower, and that's why it went out of bounds. And now Stanley Steamers is going to take their first timeout of the half. Each team gets one timeout in each half, and so the Steamers are going to take it. So 1-1 at the end of one. Teams have just alternated goals in the first 6 goals, and we're 3-3. Remember last night, first game, high-scoring first half. This one much more of what we've seen in most of the games, a tight one here with just under 3 minutes to play in the first.
Yeah, and I'm still impressed so far with the level of play and the level of closeness and competition of these teams. This is a league where you could easily see one team figuring it out early, blowing out other teams with only 3 games to play before that championship. But here we are, number 2 in the league and the 4th place team, the Steamers, and the score is 3-3, nearly tied after 2 full quarters. So a very level of competition here that we have to offer for our viewers. It's been fun to see and fun to comment on.
Jonathan, 4 games coming into tonight. All of them were still in doubt with a minute to go.
Absolutely. I think the biggest goal differential we had was that first game, and there was 4 goals, and that was after the keeper was pulled too, mind you. So high quality, high closeness of competition definitely makes it fun to be a part of.
So 3-3, 2:57 to play. Steamers will have the possession, and now I recognize why. They're a man up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
With 4 defenders for Overpower.
Yeah, so you'll see they start in that open set. They bring a guy down, I believe that's Johnson, and they'll start rotating him out. Needs to do a better job of being part of that rotation, but trying to get off ball and screen shots on this keeper so that they can have time and room.
Boy, they're not even going to get a shot off on this opening possession. It's going to be an over and back, so the first 30 seconds of the penalty have evaporated. 2:24 and counting here in this second quarter, and Overpower will have the possession, a man down, but Musgrove, and another terrific save made by Wade. Boy, that's now the 3rd point-blank opportunity for Musgrove. He's gotten 2 shots on goal, and he's been unable to get one past Wade, and now we'll see the Steamers, who have a man-up goal tonight, back at it.
Yeah, for this overpowered team, that has to be frustrating. Time and time again, they've been stuffed right on cage.
And a behind-the-back shot by Zagornis. Now a scramble for the ground ball in the corner. And finally, it is won by the Steamers. That shot never got on goal and will be gathered up by Giantonio for the men in black overpower. 1:35 to play, first half. And is it a 10-second again against overpower?
It's a fantastic check by Zagornis for the Steamers. Just kind of one hand reached in, hit the bottom hand, it came loose, and I think the fact that the player stepped over and the ball went back, they called an over the back.
1:10 left. Last opportunity here for the Steamers in this man up, and they almost turned it over, and they did. It'll be picked up by Preston Hawkins.
Their passes in this man up have been very sloppy. Disappointing to see. Got to make the most of those opportunities.
Especially as sharp as they were in the other man up where they scored a goal in this period.
Absolutely. It seemed like they knew what they were doing, but maybe after the game went on, they sort of forgot.
Now out on the left-hand side, Bennett Trout feeds it down below. All three Trouts are out there at the same time, and that one will bounce off the post, I think. Preston Hawkins will grab it on the reset, and now Overpower can hope for the last shot of the first half.
Be curious to see how many resets Overpower has in this half alone. There was a time where I think I keep him at 5 saves.
Now Trout turns, fires low. Another good save made by Wade on the shot by Bennett Trout. 13 seconds to play, so the Steamers now will have the last opportunity. Tie game. That one's going to be a turnover, maybe. Paul Kirk battles for it. 4 seconds. Going to have to try and get a quick shot up. Musgrove fires and kicked aside by Wade again, ending the first half of play.
I think that sums up what we saw in that quarter. Wade, another amazing save, really keeping the score low. The Steamers too, I've noticed, even in the audio that we picked up, their defensive communication has been great. They're switching early, they're attacking the ball. A lot of times you'll see defensive players, because of how dodge heavy these teams can be, they'll stay back and they'll wait for players, and that's when those outside looks can be created. They're getting right up on them and they're switching quick. So that's good to see from the Steamers and their defensive expertise right here.
All knotted up at 3 here at the half. Stay with us, second half coming up. Ready to go for half number 2. Alongside Jonathan Schroeder, this is Todd Bell. 3-3 our score at the end of 1. Johnson, Blake Carawan, Gellert, the goals for the Steamers. Popovich, Musgrove, and Lip on the other side for Overpower. And you alluded to it earlier during that timeout by the Steamers, how even these 4 teams really are. I mean, again, here we are, our first tie at halftime of any of our games. And really just displays how evenly matched they really are. First shot of the second half by O.J. Morris, right off the shin pad of Josh Wade, who's been outstanding here tonight. Now a shot back the other way, and Laxton is right there as Caden Minetti fires the first here for the Steamers. I mean, we've been incredibly impressed by Andy Lopez for the 2-0 Horde, but the way these two guys are playing, and especially Wade tonight, they're challenging for the best goalie of this series.
Absolutely. I think really when it comes to goalkeeping, we've seen any goalie at any given point step up and make saves, but Wade certainly is standing out among anyone currently just for his first half performance in this game.
Now Tate Jones dodges in, bounces it. Another save made by Wade. keeps it a 3-3 game, closing in on a minute gone by here in quarter number 3.
I think these offensive players need to be more purposeful about their shots. They need to slow it down and focus on placement.
Like that?
Like that.
Devin Garcia, his first goal of this series as he plays tonight for the Stanley Steamers and puts them back on top by a score of 4-3.
Thank you, Garcia, for proving my point there. Yeah, that's placement right there. You know, it's opposite stick side hip. It's going to be tough for a keeper to bring that stick around, especially where they plant it, especially with all that protective gear. But also a good cut from him just to get to the middle there and have the choices on where he's going to shoot.
So Garcia will give the Steamers the 4-3 advantage. We continue the trend of the goals being scored by every other team. Johnny Cool just barreled right through 2 Steamers.
Yeah, proverbial bowling ball there.
But the Steamers will have the possession. 8:09 left here in the third.
Yeah, that call was definitely on Johnny.
What if he had just knocked one of them over?
I'm not sure. I think sometimes that stuff is up to the ref's judgment, but 2 of them.
It's too much?
Yeah, too much.
Van Voorhis will bury one inside the left post past Langston. And Alex Van Voorhis will come away with a goal. And back-to-back tallies now for the Steamers.
Yeah, and again, the second half now quickly opening up with some goal scoring. Yeah, the pace of the game sometimes, it's really about whether or not that keeper can make the save. The offensive opportunities stay the same, but when goals start to fall, much like hockey, you can get on a chaotic run.
So 5-3 now for the Steamers. Getting tripped up was Noah Sitak. And there's going to be a violation here against the Steamers. Jake Snyder will bring it into the offensive end for Overpower.
Yeah, and my knowledge of the rules of box lacrosse aren't the best, but I do know pancake blocks.
That's not part of the game?
Not part of the game.
Great feed in front. Good defense on the trail check by Korn. Now Snyder keeps the possession. He's swinging around the perimeter. Trying to find some space. Shot over on the far side. Karams all the way out near midfield. Shot clock violation. Steamers quickly on the restart. And Tremel Duncan will bring it into the offensive end. Duncan will now get off as he hands it off to Neil Ritchie.
Yeah, defensive player. He definitely looked a little bit uncomfortable in those offensive waters, so got it to the right personnel there. If I was him, I would have said go for it.
Sure.
Got a one-on-one, give it a try.
Cade Minetti. Shot clock trickling down. Shot from out on top. Good save by Langston. On the rebound, a putback by Merrick Zagornis. And 3 straight now by the Stanley Steamers.
Yeah, that's just why you got to keep that that spot above crease really clear. Because if you get a rebound and you have a savvy player there who can pick it up and the keeper's made a big save, they're not going to be ready for that follow-up. So a lot of times off ball, you'll see players forcing out that guy who sits right above the crease there.
So Garcia, Van Voorhis, Zagornis with the 3 goals here in the third quarter. Now Overpower. They'll get the possession on the violation here against the Steamers. Have now gone nearly 9 minutes between goals dating back to the second quarter. Alexander fires it across. Now the feed in front. Picked up, low shot, another good save. Austin Popovich, who has a goal tonight, made a quick play. But again, it was Josh Wade standing tall.
Wade, I think, did a good job of reading the body language there. He knew the way the guy was positioned. It was going to be a shovel shot, and it was going to be going low. So not only is he picking up on where the shots are going from where the stick is releasing it, but just the nature of the way the player is facing.
Under 5 minutes to play, second quarter. Now a shot from inside the line. That one will be wide, and Karams right back to the man who shot it in Lip. Now fires it across for Alexander. Comes off of a screen, found a little time and space, and Dominic Alexander will score to break the run.
Yeah, just like that last time when he dodged out on the right wing on the left side here. Very patient dodge, getting around that first defender and waiting to see who plays him. But since he had no cutters that time, he was able to slow down and make a great place shot. Wade not able to save that one. Just in that top right corner there, good placement from him.
Just 15 seconds shy of going 10 minutes between goals for Overpower. They've cut the lead down to 2 and have possession. Trout looks to make a move.
Matched up against his current teammate at Baldwin Wallace, Jarrell Duncan, and Duncan able to
take it away from
him.
Ends up into the stick of the keeper. And now Josh Wade with the outlet. Working on 3:45 to play here in the third. Now that one goes wide. Karam's off of the corner boards. Grabbed out of the air by Tristan Davis. Overpower trying to get it across midfield. Rocco LaPerna stops and wings it ahead. Now Davis will carry onto the left side and he'll get off. Now a feed in front, fake on a low shot, trying to find a little bit of space. Oh, and just absolutely crushed was Landon Trout.
Here we go.
They will have words. Xander Johnson with a cross check right through Landon Trout, and that's going to be our first penalty of the game against the Steamers.
Yeah, again, the timing there on that slide was perfect. The placement of his stick, not so much. So knew that dodge was going to end up with someone rolling back. When a player is rolling back, they can't see the field. They can't see where you're coming from. So slides like that are oftentimes big hits, as we just saw. But unfortunately, really poor placement from Johnson on where he ended up hitting it. So he goes to the ground and gets smothered. Trout, just an incorrect play there from Johnson.
So a man-up advantage now, first of the night. Or I beg your pardon, second of the night here for Overpower. Now a shot here by Trout. That'll go wide. Alexander will have it. Alexander backs it out on top. Fake on a pass. Now a shot. That'll be right into the left armpit of Josh Wade.
That was a much better man-up look that we've seen. The ball was moving. I think it's tough to get it all the way around in box lacrosse. So you generally see those top 3 guys being the facilitators. Again, there's no one who's always at X. Some teams will set up and man up with an X player, but not in this case. So I'd like to see a little bit more patience. I think Alexander had the opportunity for a shot there, but he's been a patient player so far in this game, so might not be the one to do it.
Behind the back shot, whistles past the cage by Caden Minetti, and then Laxton has the ball, Karam to him. Overpower still in a man-up situation. Alexander will carry it into the offensive end here, trailing 6-4, 90 seconds to play here in the third.
Yeah, again, they're still in man-up, so let's see if they can calm down, move the ball well, and get the look they want. Looking opposite corners right now. You'll see the bottom left and right.
Popovich shot, might have gotten the post, and will be gathered up here by the Steamers. Cooper Simpson trying to get out of trouble. He loses the handle, but able to pick it back up, takes it into their offensive end, gets double teamed, takes a couple of tough shots, and they should have been an over and back. Officials didn't see it that way. And while Overpower is complaining about it, the Steamers will pick up the ball.
A tough play there from the Steamers, barely able to hold on. I'm wondering if that guy jumped, thought he wasn't touching the ground, it wouldn't be over and back, but that's definitely not how that works. So.
Either way, Overpower will end up with it after the easy save by Laxton, and now 37 seconds left, third quarter. After the first 3 goals were scored by the Steamers, they've been kept off the board the last 6 minutes. Now Trout will give it up. Back over here to Alexander. Tries to work against the defender, draws a double team, finds the man wide open out in front. Trout shot saved by Wade. 18 seconds to go. Alexander steps in front, comes away with a save. Now with defender draped all over him, Alexander will fire it across. Trout from out of the wing, he'll fire. That's no good. Picked up out of the air by Sitek. 4 seconds to go. 3-on-2. Sitek he had no idea how much time was left.
No clue.
And will not get the shot off in time. End of 3, Stanley Steamers 6, Overpower 4. Back with the fourth quarter here in Columbus at the Resolute Athletic Complex. 6-4, end of 3 quarters. Steamers on top, looking for their first win over Power at 1-1. And Jonathan, you hit it in the open, the level of importance of this game for Overpower here tonight. They've got a rally here in this 4th quarter with only next week's Tuesday games to go before the final on Wednesday.
Now, unfortunately, despite the stakes of this game, they sure aren't playing to the level of quality that's deemed necessary for a win, or necessary just for the importance of making it on to the playoffs, in which is just the championship. Again, they're in the 2nd place position right now, but a loss to the Steamers would put them down to 3rd and out of the championship game most likely.
Reset here for Overpower. Oh, I guess no reset. So they didn't reset the shot clock, and Overpower, unaware, gives it away, and here come the Steamers back the other direction.
Yeah, for this 4th quarter, the Steamers are going to have the offensive advantage, and as likewise, Overpower, just because of where the substitution boxes are. They'll have players coming onto the offensive side of the field ahead of any defensive players.
That shot whistles wide by Mason Walford, and it'll be Cool racing back the other way. He's got Giantonio to his left, tries the shot on his own. Ball comes out in front. Giantonio is in front, dumps it in. That ball kind of kept eluding Giantonio, and he finally ended up in his stick and he scored.
Yeah, I think he had the faith and the hope there that eventually it would come to him somehow. So manifesting the lacrosse powers that be to get a good look there. An excellent finish. Definitely something that we like to see. Some diving, high-flying action to put the game now within 1. So Overpower doing what they need to do to fight back.
So Giantonio with his first goal of the night. Now we're up to 11 goals and 11 different goal scorers in this contest. That shot low, terrific save by Wade as O.J. Morris tried to sneak it inside the pipe. And it's a 1-goal game. Steamers have the lead and possession with 8 minutes to go here in our 4th quarter.
11 different goal scorers. Did I hear that right?
You did.
That's fantastic. Just means that the ball is being shared and people are confident offensively and having to go at the goal.
Feed in front, low shot by Caruana, smothered there by Langston, who literally fell in right on top of it like it was a grenade. Now they'll race it back the other way. Flynn into the offensive end here for Overpower.
If there's any player on a lacrosse field, I would not be surprised if offered to jump on a live grenade for their teammates. It would no doubt be the goalie, who day in and day out is already taking a shelling from these lacrosse balls.
Nothing new, right?
Nothing new. Got to be a little bit crazy and got to be a little bit ready to sacrifice for your teammates.
Lip feeds out in front. That shot saved again as Jake Snyder tried to get one on goal. Wade made another play. And as we close in on almost 3 minutes gone, it'll be, do we have a penalty? We do, against the Steamers. And so a huge man-up opportunity now for Overpower.
This is definitely one they're going to want to capitalize on. Making it an even game is going to make them a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident too. Sometimes when you're down, you're playing not to lose, and in a game where the passes are close, the tension is high, and you have to be very focused on the ball, that can allow you to make a lot more mistakes than you normally would.
So 6:40 and counting here in the 4th. 1-goal game right now. After Steamers scored the first 3 of the 3rd, the last 2 scored by Overpower. There's a shot from out on top, and another save by Wade, and again, that one hit him square in the chest.
Overpower got to use that screen. Alexander setting a screen on that top guy, allowing a good shot if you just come over top and move the way he set the pick, but instead they aim to stick and stay up top. Not the best look there. I think Overpower needs to have a more concise and more collected offense as a team.
Still trying to kill some time, Caden Minetti. He'll give it up to Caruana, long-range shot at the end of the shot clock. And now Overpower will have it, 5:53 to play. Still a man-up situation here for Overpower.
Time should be winding down on that one, just how long they burn, but Steamers, again, man down here. Overpower needs to move this ball quick and get a better look than they did before.
Better.
See, like here, opposite ball. We need cutters. We need rotation. We need movement. They're not finding it.
Musgrove tries to go to Trout down low. Now Trout feeds it across. Low shot, no good. Now keep Trout trying to gather it back up. And the shot clock will expire. Would have been over and back regardless. 5:18 to play here in the fourth quarter.
The best looks in box lacrosse are going to be when you get the goalie to move. And the way you do that is by passing across the crease or from behind up to front, changing the direction, making them rotate and move so you can put it exactly where they came from. Overpower attempting that in that man up, but not able to get it done.
Still trying to run time off Lachlan Korn. Shot clock nearing its end. He'll just dump it down towards the cage. Laxton will gather it. Now 4:45 to play right at the end of the man-up advantage, and now it's released. So we're back to 5-on-5. So a golden opportunity here for Overpower. Almost had a great chance there. Landon Trout was cutting right in front of the net, but didn't make the catch. And the Steamers will come away with that loose ground ball. 4:26 to play, and it's a one-goal game.
Now, Steamers being very conservative. You saw they just ran out that shot clock to avoid the penalty. Sometimes when you get extra pressure, you want to go towards goal. I think they know the value of scoring in this game is much higher than it's been in other box matchups, and so they're playing as accordingly.
Battle down into the corner. That'll get kicked towards the goal and is picked up by Laxton. Overpower trails by a goal under 4 minutes to go. Only one goal so far in this fourth quarter. And now the Steamers have gone almost 13 minutes between goals.
Despite that, holding the lead, which is pretty impressive nonetheless.
Alexander stumbles his way, trying to just manifest a goal. Shot there by Haney off of the keeper, Wade. And the Steamers able to dodge another bullet with under 3.5 to play.
It's looking to me like at this point in time, both of these teams are a little tired. They're getting a little sloppier. They're getting a little slower and subbing in and out. I think we've seen so much transition in this game. It's starting to add up on the cardiovascular systems.
Low shot there. Did it trickle in? No sign from our official, and a miraculous stop by Laxton keeps it a one-goal game with 3 minutes to go.
I think it got lost in his padding or his jersey. Sometimes a little bit of that extra stuff can catch the ball, so props to him.
Took just the right bounce for Overpower trying to tie the game. Again, a perimeter shot that seemed forced to me.
Absolutely. I think in that sense, in that moment, try and look to get inside. You've got one player to beat. Go ahead and try and beat him. Got nothing to lose. There's 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game. You're down a goal. Something has to change.
Now shot from out on top by Xander Johnson. Another great save by Laxton, who's played an incredible second half. And a whistle and what? Think we got a timeout?
Looks like a timeout, yeah.
So Overpower with 2:29 will use its second half timeout here. I mean, we've certainly sung the praises of Wade, but Laxton has now kept the Steamers off the board since the 6:12 mark of the third quarter. We're down to 2:29 to go.
Yeah, and that's
kept them in it.
Yeah, and that's that hasn't been without some good scoring opportunities. Johnson there earlier had a goal in the game that was very similar to what he just saw. A good placement from him, but again, Laxton stepping up big. It's fun to watch these goalies perform at a high level.
So big deep breath here for Overpower. They're going to have the possession. I think we've seen some quick shot clock possession shots by Overpower, and especially that last one, the last possession, all the way from out near the 1/3 line. This is an opportunity here where they've had a chance to talk. This has to be almost their best opportunity right here.
It should be. It should be. And I've said this before. We need to stick a detective on this case or something. But that first game, if you go back and watch it, their off-ball movement, the way they cut, the flow they had, was something that no team has replicated since that first game. So we're screaming out the voices of beyond. Where is this Overpower off-ball movement that got them a very solid win against that Resolute team to start this series?
6-5 Steamers, as Musgrove will win the race into the offensive end as they start this possession. Alexander, he'll give it up now to Keaton Trout. Trout with a good feed to Alexander, but he didn't make the catch, but he's able to pick it up off of the wall. 10 seconds now on the shot clock. Shot from out on the wing, and they'll get a reset. It went out of bounds, so they'll kind of restart things here down in the corner.
There's a second ball from the ref. He pocketed one between the quarters, I think, so we're a little bit more prepared here.
Now Musgrove fires, but again, right into the belly of Josh Wade, who will make the save. Double team in the defensive end. Ball is still free, sticked forward by Overpower. Now Musgrove will have it out in front. Good feed. Trout, he scores and ties the game on a terrific play.
That's what we like to see. I mean, great ride there. Oftentimes you won't get looks that good in box lacrosse, but great pressure. Some good ground play from number 16. That was Popovich to kind of goose the ball back in the offensive direction. And then a great late pass to an open player. Trout's going to score that one 10 out of 10 times with a great dive and finish.
And that will tie the game. Clock stops when we're under 2 minutes in a game decided by 3 goals or less. And now we are tied.
Morris today has taken quite a beating. I'm not sure if you've noticed that, but the face-off player for Overpower, O.J. Morris, he's been pancaked, he's been jammed, he's been cross-checked.
And a diving try in front by Caden Minetti is waved off on a crease violation. 1:18 to go, Overpower possession. We're tied at 6.
I need to see a shoot-off in this series. Or shootout, I should say. If no goals scored in the extra period, that's a 4 minutes long, we will see a shootout. I'd love to see that today.
Another game coming right down to the last minute. 60 seconds to play. Feed out on top, shot. That one is blocked out in front by the Steamers. Gathered up here by Lip. They work it in behind. A diving try! And for the first time tonight, Overpower has the lead. Landon Trout again.
They picked the right time to grab the lead late in this game. Some hero antics, no doubt. 2 dives. Impressive work from Overpower.
It's our first multi-goal scorer of the game, and it's back-to-back goals by Trout with 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, Trout picked the right time to come alive there. You can see now on the face-off, Overpower has a new face-off player we haven't seen as much.
Gian Antonio will take the face-off against Sitek. In fact, I beg your pardon, that was Tristan Davis for Overpower. And the Steamers will have it. Maybe their last possession and opportunity of the game to try and tie it.
Laxon gonna need to step up like he's done before, but in the hands of Carawan here, he's a savvy shooter.
And he scores! Low to the right, just inside the post to tie the game with 33 seconds to go.
Good work from Carawan. He's a sweeping dodger, so a lot of times he'll make a quick move, and instead of attacking the goal, he's gonna create shooting space. Just like that, puts it low, and with enough speed that the keeper is not dropping to make that save.
Well, this is the biggest face-off of the game, is it not? With half a minute to go, you can hold for the last shot.
The stakes are high here. Possession is super valuable.
O.J. Morris will go back into the face-off X for Overpower. Again, overtime, a 4-minute extra period. It'll be a 3-man shootout if no goal is scored in the overtime. It is sudden death overtime.
Steamers doing a great job being a team that, well out of championship contention, are still working hard to eliminate Overpower.
So Sitek had the face-off win, and I think they had alerted the referees, if we win the face-off, we want an immediate timeout, and they got it just before the ball was jarred out of Sitek's cross.
Yeah.
And so the Steamers, with 30 seconds to go, will have basically the whole 30 seconds to try and win this game. It'll be interesting to see their approach. Do they take the first good shot, or do they wait and try and take it all the way down towards the end?
We'll see. I think traditionally the Steamers in this series have not been the best when it comes to settled 5-on-5 possessions, but right now they have the opportunity to talk amongst themselves and get the look they want. I'm sure they're no doubt inspired by the crease dives they've seen the other way, so I could definitely see a late shot clock attempt coming from somewhere close to inside the crease, maybe even getting the ball to X to try and draw that keeper and look off. Laxonen's really on point right now with the outside shots. We know Carawan just had a look as well. Maybe they'll set something up with him. There's a lot of possibilities. Defensively, if I'm Overpower, I just want to stay home right now. I don't want to crawl too far out on the dodges and get the ball to move freely or get a second player drawn in. I want to see a shot from the outside, force something that Laxonen can save, and then go the other way for a quick transition look.
So it'll be Jackson Carawan, Xander Johnson, Merrick Zagornis, along with Caden Minetti and Blake Carawan for the Steamers.
Minetti's been quiet this game, but last time he played, he had a few goals himself. He could seem to come alive maybe in these last seconds, an underutilized weapon or something that Overpower hasn't prepared for. Looks like they're just going to burn out the clock here and get this last look.
14 seconds, so they know what they're going to do. Carawan now with 9. Looks to try and take the man off, fires, save made by Laxton. Will he try and get a quick outlet? He's being smart with it. He'll just fire it to the other end, and that will do it. He got it on goal, and Josh Wade had to make one more save.
You could tell Wade was a little bit on pins and needles there. An easy save in theory, but with a 7-7 tie and the thought in the back of your head, I better not let this in. Stuff becomes a little bit more dangerous.
So again, our first overtime in this Ohio Box Lacrosse Series. And overtime decided in a 4-minute extra period sudden death. And if no goal is scored, it'll be a 3-man shootout. I don't have a sense of how this is going to go because it's been low scoring. It's 7-7. This is our lowest scoring game we've had. And you just had the Steamers go nearly 16 minutes between goals. It all screams that they're going to play the 4 minutes cautiously and we have the shootout, but it's box lacrosse.
Absolutely. There's really no way to give a good idea of what we're going to expect in this overtime. I mean, keep in mind, too, in that third quarter, the Steamers opened up scoring immediately back to back. If that's something they do here, if Sitek gets a good face-off win and they attack the goal quick, but then again, we have good goalie performance on either end. I think it's very much a toss-up in terms of what we're going to see. I'm definitely vying for the full 4 minutes and then the 3-man shootout. It'd be fun to see what teams' players get picked. But other than that, yeah, really no prediction on how this is going to go.
So it'll be Noah Sitek for the Steamers and O.J. Morris for Overpower.
Looks
in
like
what will be the last face-off of the night
looks
in
like
this
they're
game.
going with 3 minutes on the clock,
Okay.
not 4. So.
Oh, turnover. Is this going to be over and back? It will be. And so Overpower, they've already blown the whistle. And they're playing on, even though there was a whistle. Now they restart. And so it will be Overpower with the first possession. Preston Hawkins. Now we'll give it up to Musgrove. He'll look to drive in. He will shoot and score! He beats him on his right shoulder. Will Musgrove with a goal 31 seconds into overtime.
And that does it. He had one earlier, I believe. Just a confident dodge. Steamers didn't send a second person there. We're relying on Wade to make the save, but that close, generally automatic for a player of Musgrove's caliber. Quite a anticlimactic ending despite everything going on, but Overpower now still in championship game contention with a close win.
And remember, early in the game, they had all of those crease violations.
Yes.
And that one was dangerously close, but they avoid it. The two teams will shake hands as you had the over and back after they had won the possession, but they give it away, and then Overpower on their very first goal scores, or first possession score.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of deliberation here between the Steamers coach and the refs. You know, maybe in a distant future we'll have official video review.
That's never going to be
close scores. Like, hey, you never know. I can put it out there. We can see what happens.
Final score in our first game in overtime on the Musgrave goal, his second. It is Overpower 8, the Stanley Steamers 7. Coming up next, it is Ohio Horde at 2-0 taking on Resolute at 1-1. Stay with us. That action is coming up in about 10 minutes.
Start. You got high here. You got high, you got high. Good. All right. Goes behind, just fly out there. Follow whatever the ball side comes from, just follow that ball, right? Not get hung up.
We welcome you back inside Resolute Athletic Complex in Columbus as our terrific first game ended in overtime, won by Overpower on a goal by Musgrove to make it a 2-1 record for Overpower. Stanley Steamers dropped to 0-3. And now here we have our nightcap of the night. It is Ohio Horde, the undefeated team at 2-0, taking on Resolute at 1-1. Todd Bell, Jonathan Schroeder with you here. Jonathan, I don't know how we can top the first game we had, but we do expect this to be a terrific matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, another close one for sure in the making. A lot of competent, strong players on both teams. Resolute, I don't know how they're going to deal with the Horde's physicality. Overpower able to step up late in the game, but it was a little too late as they lost that matchup. Horde so far being a team that's been a lot of physical offensive and defensive play, and I think it's really played out for them as this series has gone on.
All right, ready to go.